I am, this is absolutely, totally, humongously awesome. I'm telling you, I don't have anything to say. It's very awkward. I had all this cool stuff I was going to say, and I can't think of any of it. I love what I do. And I love that I get to do this for a living. And I can't understand why we get paid for what we do. And maybe we are counting pennies, but we're making the money for doing something that we love to do, and something that we have to do. That's the way I feel about it. I've been writing songs since I first learned to whistle, and I can remember I'd be sitting in the car whistling, and my daddy would turn around and say, "What's that you're whistling, boy?" And I'd say, "I made it up," and he'd say, "You did not." And like a lot of other people, you know, he couldn't fathom that somebody could actually pull notes out of the air and make up a song and put words to it to make it even harder. But to me, it's just, I don't know, it's just something that it's a gift. And I have a lot of people to thank. I think I put it on my cell phone, because I had a feeling I was going to mess up. So I'm going to see if I can find this. And it starts with, oh God, I got so many. Everybody's quit texting me. I want to. Somebody y'all probably never heard of Gwen Kessler. Gave me my first break by getting me a job when I was a really young man with a record company, because that's what I wanted to do, was be close to the music. And she got me a job with a record company, and I was a promotion man, a salesman for, I don't know, a whole lot of years. And I sent a lot of songs into them, and they kept telling me to keep my day job, and I kept struggling at it. And finally I got moved out here, and I met Billy Strange and Nancy Sinatra. They introduced me to Elvis. I want to thank them for that. I want to thank Elvis for being Elvis. And just a few times that I was in that inner circle, I was at his home a few times and at his dressing room, and I tell you, it's like it branded on me, you know, because I watched him when he first came to Lubbock, Texas, and he stood on the back of a old flatbed truck out in the parking lot at the Hub Motor Company, and the girls were just screaming and yelling and climbing up and trying to get to him. And I said, man, I want to do that. And I did eventually. But I want to thank him. I want to thank Johnny Carson, because Johnny, he called me to the couch the first time I did the show, and I sat over there and made a fool of myself, and he kept letting me come back. And after about 50 of those shows, I feel like he was a part of my life in a lot of ways. I want to thank Jim Morey and Sandy Gallen. Dolly mentioned Sandy Gallen a while ago, and Jim Morey and he were partners, and they just did so much for me. I want to thank Rick Hall, good old crazy Rick Hall, from Fame Studios. The first time I ever cut a record was in that studio in 1963. Yeah, and in '64 I joined BMI, and I knew Frances Preston when she was such a fox. I want to thank Del Bryant. We've become great friends over the years, so much. Mike O'Neill, I've become good friends with Mike. I love you, Mike. And I'm not that good a golfer. He just sucks so bad that everybody beats him like a borrowed mule. I want to thank Jody Williams, the wonderful job he does for everybody. I want to thank Roger Sovine, because in my day, Roger Sovine was just a great guy. I want to thank Barbara Kane. She's the LA version of the great people that are out here. And Barbara's just one of the sweetest, most sensitive people I've ever known, and she really believes in songwriters. And I want to thank Bart Herbison, who was mentioned a little bit earlier. Bart really cares about songwriters, and he's the one that convinced me to come here, and my wife and I built a house because Bart says, you know what, Mac? You're sitting out there on your butt in California, and you should be down here co-writing with some of these guys. And I hope that's going to happen. I really do. Because the great songwriters, I still believe, all live right here in Nashville, Tennessee, or nearby. I want to thank my son, Scotty, who inspired watching Scotty grow by telling me that PRLFQ spelled mom and dad when he was about 5 years old. He's 52 next week. And I want to thank my sons, Noah and Cody. Well, it's a younger batch of sons who couldn't be here tonight. I really feel bad about that, but they both, young men, they got big, heavy-duty jobs. They both got their mother's genes, thank God, and they both finished college, magna cum laude. And one's out in L.A. working for an agency, and the other's in New York working for Christie's Auction House and drawing pictures. And most of all, I want to thank my wife, Lisa. And anybody who's ever met Lisa knows that she is maybe the sweetest and kindest person that God put on earth. So there, that's, and I'm sure I've forgotten a few people, a lot of people, in fact, but I do love you and I thank you, and I'm so, I don't know if I'm humongously awesome, scared shitless. I love this, I really do.